2018 middle school band concert. My name is Matt Raab, and I get the pleasure of working with all of our band students at Whitehall District Schools. So I'm very excited that you're here and thankful that you're here. This is our 6th grade band on stage. It's hard to believe that this is the same band that was on stage in December because they've grown a lot as far as their musical skills. And so I'm very, very proud of them and excited for them, and they're excited to play for you tonight. That first piece they played for you was a piece called March Royale by Mr. Mark Williams. The next piece they're going to play for you is a piece called The Tempest. It's actually, we learned about minor mode, and it's a piece in G minor. It's a very fast, repetitive piece. We talked about ostinato patterns, which are repeated patterns. So it's just a very eerie piece, and they love it. So they're excited to share it with you. The Tempest. what sets this concert apart from our winter concert for the 6th grade is that the winter concert, we're mostly playing exercises out of the book that they're playing together, and that are playing mostly in unison. They're all playing the same parts. And the exciting thing about the music they're playing now is that we're playing sheet music, actual pieces that have all different parts, and as you can hear, every section's playing a different part. And so for them now, at this point in the year, to be able to play 3 pieces that are about 70 measures long a piece is a really fantastic thing. I'm really, really proud of them to be able to have come so far and be able to do what they're doing. So it's just very exciting. Before we play our last piece for you, the 6th grade band has one more performance before the end of the year. On May 25th, they will be traveling over to Shoreline Elementary School to play for the annual Red, White, and Blue Assembly. So they will go and be a part of that assembly, and they'll play a couple of the selections that they're playing for you tonight. And just so parents know, we're actually going to leave, the assembly starts about 9 o'clock, so we will be leaving at about 8:30. We're going to hop on a bus, head over. We'll be back by about 10 o'clock, 10:30 before dismissal on that half day. So they're very excited. We're excited to go share some music with the students at Shoreline. Our last piece is a piece called Traffic Jam, and Mr. Loest, who wrote the piece, lives in the Chicago area, and so his commute is horrendous every single day. And in the program notes, he talks about, one day he finally just said, enough was enough. He was tired of being stressed in traffic, and he just said, I needed to write a piece to kind of get my feelings out and make this more of a pleasurable experience being stuck in traffic. So he said, I just decided to write a piece about it. And so Traffic Jam, you're going to hear lots of interesting sounds and different harmonies and things coming from the band. We talked about blue notes or flat notes. This is kind of a rock, it's kind of a rhythm and blues tune. And so you're going to get to hear lots of neat things from the band in this one. And I think it's their favorite. They're excited to share it with you. This is Traffic Jam. very much. On stage before you now is our 7th grade band, and before we move on with our program, I'd like to acknowledge our solo duet and our duets in between bands. On piano, we had 7th grader Mr. Trevor Conklin. If we could have a round of applause for Trevor Conklin. Trevor performed at Spring Solo Ensemble, received a Division I rating this spring with that solo, so congratulations, Trevor. Duet, we had 2 6th grade band students, Miss Faith Jones and Brooklyn McCary. So a nice round of applause. The first piece we just played for you was a piece called As the Eagle Flies, and if you could hear, it was slightly based on Simple Gifts. You could hear that within the middle legato section. The second piece that the 7th graders are going to share with you this evening is a piece called Fires of Mazama. And Fires of Mazama is based on Crater Lake in southern Oregon. And I kind of selfishly picked this piece because I'm actually going to be in Oregon this summer, and we'll actually get to go and see Crater Lake. And Mr. Sweeney wrote this piece based on about 7,000 years ago, an explosion that happened, a catastrophic explosion that really caused that big crater to open up and fill with water over time, and now it's become one of the deepest lakes, and as well just one of the most beautiful national parks that we have. And so within this piece, Mr. Sweeney takes it through 7,000 years ago, from the build-up to the eruption, and then from the eruption to you'll hear kind of a more tranquil, subdued part of the piece that now the lake is not filling with water, and now it's something of beauty that we now enjoy today. So you'll just kind of hear that transformation throughout the music. And so we're excited to share with you. This is Fires of Mazama. And what a difference 2 years makes. So we saw the 6th grade, and what I also love is we just see the progression. So now our 7th graders have been playing for a couple of years, and man, they just sound fantastic, and they're just getting better by the day. So before we play our last piece, I want to acknowledge a few students who have participated in a few extracurricular events for band. I first want to recognize our solo and ensemble participants. So if you played at Spring Solo and Ensemble, if you'll stand up for me, please. If you participated in Spring Solo and Ensemble. Okay. We had, oh sure. Kyle Mahoney, David Conrad, Trevor Conklin in the back, Alex Wynn, and Mr. Liam Zegda. All these students did a fantastic job at Mona Shores Middle School, so let's give them one more round of applause. And then in January we had our honors band concert, and this year our district combined high school and middle school honors band to be on the same day and evening. And so we actually had 2 of our 7th grade students along with 6 of our 8th grade students whom I'll introduce in the next set. We had Kieran Cook and Kyle Mahoney. If you guys will stand up, we had 2 7th graders in our honors band. Okay. Our third and final piece for you is a song from Walk the Moon. It really needs no introduction, but the 7th graders' last piece they're going to share with you is Shut Up and Dance. And finally on stage before you was our 8th grade band. Before we move on with their program as well, I would now like to acknowledge our solos and duets that we had in between groups. Our flute soloist, 6th grader, Miss Natalie Franklin. Have another round of applause for Natalie. Our piano soloist, Michael Wright. Round of applause for Michael Wright. And our clarinet duet, our 6th grade clarinet duet, Keena Johnson and Kira Niles. Round of applause. I would like to give a shout out to the 7th grade percussionists. If you noticed, if you looked in the back of this part of the stage, all of them were still back there, and you might have been wondering, well, why are they playing? It's the 8th grade band. Well, that piece called for about 9 percussionists. As you could hear, there's all sorts of fun stuff going on back there. So I asked them to play, and they were like, yeah, Mr. Raab. Of course we will. So thank you, gentlemen, that helped with that. That was great. That first piece was Chanted Fire Ritual. Tyler Grant wrote that when he was about 14 years old. And I really admire Tyler. He's still writing music today. He's now in his 20s. But he wrote that piece when he was about 14. So it's a great piece of music to start with. Country Wildflowers is a piece that the 8th grade band prepared for band festival. And as well, the 7th grade band, the first piece they performed as the Eagle Flies. These are 2 pieces that those 2 groups prepared for band festival. And as many of you know, right before band festival, my wife and I had our 2nd child, Bayla. We had our 2nd daughter, Bayla. And so I was going... So I was gone for about a month, and we were not able to go to band festival, but what we ended up doing is we brought a MSBOA clinician into the middle school and spent an entire day with all of my groups, my high school band, my 8th grade band, 7th grade band as well, and gave a clinic for the groups. We gave about an hour-and-a-half clinic, and so it was a really rich experience for the kids in lieu of not being able to actually perform at band festivals. So the next piece, Country Wildflowers, was their slow ballad, their piece that we're going to play as their 2nd selection. Larry Dane wrote this piece. He lives in Wisconsin, in a part of Wisconsin that is just, there's rolling hills and lots of wildflowers around where he lives. He lives on a farm. He's still writing music today. And so this piece, Country Wildflowers, is just very beautiful. It's very slow and lyrical, so we hope that you enjoy it. a few students that I'd like to recognize as well, as we did with our 7th grade band. And I have to apologize because at our winter concert, I forgot to recognize some of these solo and ensemble students. So if you, 8th graders, if you performed at either the fall solo and ensemble or the spring solo and ensemble, if you will stand up for me, please. Excellent. Let's have a round of applause. Allison Chen, Kiara Moore, and Audrey Johnson. And then, along with our 2 7th graders, we had 6 of our 8th graders participate in Honors Band. So if I could have the 6 students that went to Honors Band in January stand up for me, please. Josh Holmberg, Connor Reed, Kiara Moore, Alyssa Proctor, Chloe Madsen, and Allison Shen. Congratulations. Before we share our last piece for you, I'd like to bring up our booster president and our booster president who is coming up for our next school year. So Mr. Matt Raab, Ms. Jennifer Bowman as well. Mr. Matier is going to just talk just a little bit about marching band for our 8th graders. Currently we have 84 students signed up for our marching band. That is one of the largest marching bands we've had here at Whitehall in quite a very, very long time. So I'm very, very excited about that. Most all of the students you see on stage before you are signed up to join our marching band. So we're going to have a nice big group next year. I'm very, very excited. So Matt has just a few things, Matt and Jennifer have a few things to share with you regarding the process. So I'm going to hand it over to Matt.
Thank you. Right now we have some band parents that are be passing marching band hats around. This year you might have noticed at the holiday concert we did the Pass the Hat as a fundraiser. We've been aggressively doing fundraisers this year because we understand that the band is really growing to the point where the capacity of some things we have just isn't going to cut it for a larger band. We already have 17 new marching band uniforms on order that should be ready for the next season. This is all a good thing. It's more students, bigger program, more opportunities. And one of the things we've been trying to do this year is earn enough money for a new trailer. Because the 16-foot trailer we have, the equipment trailer we have, it's big, it's heavy, and it just can't handle all the equipment for a band of this size. So this year we've been really trying to raise a lot of money so we can go out and buy a much bigger, lighter trailer. So that's what all of our fundraisers, our booster fundraisers have been going for this year. So if you're able to kick in some money as those buckets, as those helmets come around, please do so. We really appreciate it. This goes not just for the high school band, it's for the middle school band too. It's the band program. So when I'm speaking where the money goes to, it's not going to go to the high school only or just the middle school, because both the high school and middle school bands use all the equipment. Speaking of fundraising, if you have an 8th grade student or a 9th or 10th or 11th grade student, we do have our sub-sandwich sale going on right now, one more week to earn some money for band camp on that. I did send out emails to all the parents. If you have not been receiving my emails, please make sure they're not going into your junk folder, your spam folder, or something like that, because I use the same email address that you have given to the school. So if whatever email address that the school uses, I use the exact same one to communicate anything that's band related. So if you haven't been getting those, check your junk folders, or just contact me and I'll make sure we get you on the email list. Another thing you can do is join our Facebook group, Whitehall High School Band Students and Parents. It's a closed group just for high school parents and students. And that's where all the, if you see it in an email, you're also going to see it on Facebook too. So if you're more into the social media thing and not so much checking the email, you'll get the same messages through that. So tonight, our treasurer is going to be outside after the concert collecting $50 deposits for band camp. This is to basically reserve the spot for the students for our marching band next year. Throughout the summer, the program is going to be created, and with that deposit ensures that number T9 and T8 and T7 are going to be right there, trumpet 9, 8, and 7. So, on to some other booster information. I want to announce our new president So I'm stepping down this year. I have a child graduating, and 5 years in the band boosters, 6 years in the band program. And I'm going to take a little break right now and hand it over to someone else. So I wanted to introduce our new president, Jennifer Bowman. Jennifer's right over there. Jennifer was our vice president this last couple of years, and she helped to get all of the food preparations and everything for us, as well as the fundraising. She helped out with that as well. And she's going to take the next big leap, I guess you could say, to the president position. So any more questions that you have regarding band camp or anything like that, you can email her instead of me. And also, we have a new person joining us this year, our vice president, Tracy Alders. Our treasurer, Katie Toll, will be collecting deposits. This will be her third year as treasurer. And our secretary, again, will be Donna Spoolhoff. And that is the band boosters. If you need any information on band camp balances, make sure you contact Ms. Katie Toll, and she will get that information to you right away. So like I said, this will be my last appearance on stage for the middle school bands. And I kind of regret that because I haven't seen these 8th graders, but just over a couple of concerts, and probably the next time I see them perform at concerts, they'll be a senior in high school. I know that seems hard to believe and seems like a long ways away, but I'm sure it'll go really quickly. So I do look forward to seeing everybody in about your senior year of high school, where I can come back and cheer you guys on, because my daughter, we have a bumper crop coming through, so we have 2 more kids we have to pass to the band program yet. So that's when you'll see me again, if you're okay with that. Yeah, all right. Okay, once again, I just want to reiterate, check your email if you haven't been getting them from me. Please let me know, and we'll make sure to get you on the email list. $50 deposits will be collected today, and also I'll have a laptop set up for contact information where I can get your correct email address if you want to correct it, or check to make sure we have the right one. I think I am done talking now. All right. Thank you very much.
Couple of my own quick announcements before we play our last piece for you. Tomorrow evening is our high school concert. If you are able to come tomorrow night, you won't want to miss it. We have our jazz band, our high school jazz band performing. Every single ensemble section in the band will be playing their own piece, anything from the Beatles to Beauty and the Beast. We have lots of fantastic music we're going to share with you tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, same place, same time. And also, we have our symphonic band closing. We have our senior awards. We'll be playing a tribute to Bugs Bunny tomorrow night as well that you won't want to miss. So hopefully you can join us tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. Immediately following the 8th grade performance, we have all of the cookies and refreshments that you all brought this evening. So the only thing I would like to ask is that we wait for all of our performing students to get through and get snacks first, and then families and friends, you guys are welcome to join us after that. Before also we play our last piece, I would like to, every year, we give out an outstanding band member award. It's called the Patrick Gilmore Award. Patrick Gilmore was known as the principal of American music in the 19th century. Some of his bands performed for centennial celebrations in Philadelphia, Boston, just a very, very famous composer and band leader at that time, and also during the Civil War. And so this award is given to an outstanding 8th grader, not only for their contributions as an 8th grader, but this is a student that I watched progress over 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, looking at dedication to our group, going above and beyond, helping their peers, participating in events like solo ensemble and honors band. And so this year I am very proud to announce our 2018 Patrick Gilmore Award winner is Kiara Moore. Thank you, Cindy. The final piece they're going to play for you tonight, as 8th graders, I let them vote and choose the piece they would like to share as their 8th grade selection. And so this year, the 8th grade band chose selections from The Jungle Book. And so we have two soloists within this piece, Miss Alexandria Rangel on flute and Miss Chloe Manson on the trumpet. Thank you guys for coming. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your spring and summer break as well. Thanks for coming. Have a good evening. Bye.